the chief guest address we really have been looking forward to, and we are really honored to have her presence in midst of all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us is not just the IAS officer of the 1987 batch, but also having topped the list of women candidates in the UPSC examination conducted in that year. She is Masters with Honours in Economics from Punjab University, Chandigarh. And in the year 2003, she was selected by the United States India Education Foundation for the prestigious Hubert Humphrey Fulbright Fellowship in USA. And apart from holding various positions at district and state level, she's worked in Government of India at various positions for many, many years. What's going to happen right now is while India is on the crossroads where progressive policy meets global ambition, we have our chief guest address who will talk about policy and possibility and India's role in reinventing global capability. Could we have a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? We have Ms. Jyoti Arora, IAS, former Secretary, Special Secretary and Financial Advisor, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India.
Thank you, ET Edge, for giving me this opportunity to participate in the Global Capability Center Summit 2025, where I've been able to interact with young minds. I've been sitting here since morning. It's very unenviable task to give a kind of a closing address, especially when you have been sitting here since morning. But I think our previous speaker, Mr. Kunal Newar, has at least brought in some kind of an energy, and you are all woken up. So that makes my task a little easier. But I can only assure you that I've been given a 15-minute slot. I would finish before that. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I have been asked to speak on policy and possibility, India's role in reinventing global capability. The very theme chosen for this address reflects the dynamism of the times we live in. We stand at a moment when India is not merely participating in global change, but shaping it, influencing it, and increasingly leading it. The gathering is not simply about trends and numbers. It is about co-creating the future. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to work at the intersection of policy, technology, and talent. And today, as I look at this hall filled with CEOs, entrepreneurs, and innovators, I can confidently say the story of GCCs is no longer just about cost and efficiency. It is about vision, value, and velocity. It is fitting that we are meeting in Hyderabad. The city is a living metaphor for India's aspiration. Rich in culture and tradition, yet buzzing with technology and connectivity, Hyderabad represents the spirit of transformation. Once renowned for its biryani and pearls, it is today equally famous for IT campuses, life sciences hubs, and a thriving innovation ecosystem. That blending of heritage and modernity, resilience with reinvention, is exactly the balance we must strive for as we take the GCC story forward. Before I turn to the broad canvas, let me acknowledge the energy and substance of today's discussion. I've been sitting here since morning. as I told you. We have heard leaders and experts engaged in practical discussions. I was struck by how the panels were not limited to describing the what, but focused on the how. Whether on integrating AI responsibly, building green innovation, or skilling at scale, the tenor was grounded in realism yet infused with ambition. As the day progressed, discussions dived deeper into digital talent, AI driven processes, India's role in sustainable innovation, and the evolution of GCCs from cost centers to engines of creativity. These are not abstract deliberations, they are the very questions shaping boardroom decisions and policy frameworks. Friends, you have all alluded to this in the morning. The GCC journey in India is one of now transformation. What began as back office support has evolved into a formidable sector driving innovation, strategy, and competitiveness for leading enterprises. Today, India hosts more than, some said, 1700, 1800, 1900 GCCs, employing nearly 2 million professionals. What is striking is not just the scale, but the scope. GCCs are designing products, building digital platforms, running data-driven programs, and shaping corporate strategies. By 2030, many of you have already said that figure, the sector is expected to contribute $110 billion. An exponential transformation it is going to be. But let's recognize that this success was not an accident. It was built on deliberate policy decision, policy choices, and a shared vision between government and industry. Over the last decade, India created frameworks that encouraged innovation. The Digital India program built infrastructure at an unprecedented scale. Startup India fostered a vibrant entrepreneurial culture. India Stack gave us Aadhaar, UPI, DigiLocker, and ONDC. Digital public goods that solved domestic challenges and inspired the world. How many emerging economies even today can think of that kind of digitally literate population and those kind of open platforms? We simplified taxation, streamlined compliance, and moved from permission to partnership. The result? Predictability for investors, confidence for entrepreneurs, and credibility for India as a global hub. I would be remiss if I do not mention the finance minister's most recent budget speech, where she emphasized on setting up of the national GCC framework that shows the commitment of the government. She also alluded to the India's role as talent capital of the world, highlighting frontiers such as AI, semiconductors, and green growth. Those very frontiers are where GCCs are beginning to play a decisive role now, bringing cutting-edge work into India and integrating Indian talent with global innovation pipelines. Equally important has been the role of different ministries, particularly of METI, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, where I had the good fortune to work for a very long time. I was instrumental in bringing the PLI scheme for mobile and electronics. Then all the ministries actually kind of copied that scheme. And also the semiconductor mission was also planned at that point in time. Unlike regulators elsewhere, METI has embraced its role as enabler very well. Whether in the data protection framework, national AI strategy, or the supercomputer and the semiconductor missions supporting deep tech startups, METI has consistently co-created solutions with industry. And many a times, government, through its policies, has been itself a great catalyst for transformation. Some of you have also mentioned, but it is because of its present semiconductor mission, which has created immense opportunity for defense and space sectors also now. This culture of proactive partnership has given GCCs the confidence to take bold bets in India. It has reassured global boards that India is not just a low-cost destination, but a high-trust, high-value partner. What also deserves mention here is the collaboration that underpins this sector. The government cannot build this story alone. Industry cannot sustain it alone. It is the coming together of both, alongside academia, think tanks, startups, civil society, and even forums like ET Edge, that has created fertile ground for GCCs to flourish. The spirit of collaboration is our true competitive advantage, and it must be nurtured further. The timing of this transformation is no coincidence. Geopolitics is changing very fast. We all know supply chains are being reconfigured in this environment. Therefore, in this setting, companies are no longer asking, where is the cheapest resource, but where is the most resilient, trusted, innovative ecosystem? India, with its democracy, talent, digital infrastructure, and trust quotient, is uniquely placed to answer that. And mind you, this is not just about metropolitan India alone. You have all made a reference to it. States like Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Telangana, Maharashtra, UP are competing with progressive policies to welcome GCCs with open arms. And tier 2 cities like Coimbatore, Bhubaneswar, Indore, Chandigarh, Mohali are emerging as new growth centers. They offer lower costs, new talent pools, and a chance to spread benefits more inclusively. I'm sure some of you might be planning your next GCCs in tier 2 or tier 3 cities, especially the ones who already have their GCCs in the metropolitan cities already. This decentralization of opportunity is as important as the scale itself, and that is actually more in tune with our own story of development of India as well. Recent studies, particularly by NASSCOM, Zinov, Deloitte, and this CII, its July 25, 2025 report, highlight another encouraging dimension. Nearly 3/4 of GCCs in India are already working on advanced digital capabilities, such as AI, cloud, data engineering, and cybersecurity. Many are not just supporting global businesses, but leading critical innovation mandates. This shows the GCC model is steadily moving up the value chain, with the next phase bringing even greater contribution in product design, R&D, and sustainability. Equally exciting is the opportunity for mid-sized companies. Until now, the GCC story was dominated by Fortune 500 firms, but mid-sized enterprises can also leverage this model to scale faster, innovate quicker, and globalize more effectively. By plugging into India's ecosystem, They can accelerate growth while enriching India's story of development. The democratization of the GCC model would well be the next big chapter. So, what do we need to do next? First, it's no-brainer. We must double down on skilling and the required talent. AI, cybersecurity, and climate tech will be the arenas of competition. Second, we must continue to build the world-class infrastructure, particularly in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. Third, ensure regulatory clarity and certainty on taxation. There was a full session on that. Data flows and compliance so that India remains the most predictable destination for investment. All the concerns of industry need to be addressed urgently and continuously. And most importantly, incentivize R&D, ensuring the most strategic work is located here. We have traveled this path, but we have to continue with this journey going forward with renewed vigor. The artificial intelligence in particular also deserves a special mention. It's a general purpose technology that will redefine business models, reshape labor markets, and challenge social contracts. India has both the responsibility and the opportunity to lead in ensuring that AI is used ethically, inclusively, and transparently. GCCs will be at the heart of this effort, building not just products, but governance models that can serve as benchmarks globally. But if we are to succeed, we must also change the narrative abroad. We cannot remain branded as the back office of the world that was yesterday's story. Today, we must present ourselves as the brain office of the world, the place where ideas are born, innovation nurtured, and solutions engineered. And this branding must extend beyond the US and the Europe. We must actively take the India story to ASEAN, Africa, Latin America, and the Middle East. Each of these regions represent a frontier of opportunity, and the GCC can serve as bridges connecting Indian innovation with these markets. Let me emphasize once again, the foundation of this success lies in partnership. Public and private, central and state, global and local. That is the model we have built and model we must strengthen. India's GCC journey is not just a corporate story, it is a national story. It is about creating jobs and hope for our youth. It is about strengthening India's voice in the global economy. It is about building resilience in a turbulent and unpredictable world. Friends, as I look around this room and reflect on today's discussions, I feel a deep sense of optimism. The ambition and collaborative spirit I see here assure me that we are on the right path with the right momentum. Together, government, industry, academia, and society, we are scripting a story that will inspire not just this generation, but generations to come. The chapters already written are remarkable. The chapters ahead, I am confident, will be even more inspiring, and together we will script them. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.